Where does silver actually come from, and how is it made? From antique tea sets passed down through generations to the coins in our wallets and the tiny circuits inside our smartphones, silver is woven into everyday life. Yet this bright, reflective metal doesn't begin its journey looking polished or precious. Its story starts far below the Earth's surface, locked away inside unremarkable stone. So how does rough, dusty rock become one of the most recognizable and valuable metals in human history? Silver is a natural chemical element, identified on the periodic table by the symbol Ag. Although it exists throughout the Earth's crust, it almost never appears as pure metal. Instead, silver is usually hidden within other minerals. One of the most common sources is galena, a lead sulfide ore that often contains significant traces of silver deep inside its structure. Silver is also frequently found mixed with copper, gold, or zinc. In fact, a large portion of the silver used today isn't mined on its own at all. It's recovered as a secondary product during the extraction of these other metals. To access these deposits, miners rely on either open-pit mining or underground methods, depending on how deep the ore lies. When silver-bearing rock is located near the surface, massive excavation equipment removes layers of soil and stone, known as overburden, to expose and collect huge quantities of ore. For deeper deposits, miners dig tunnels or sink vertical shafts to reach the metal-rich rock below. Regardless of the method used, the freshly mined material is far from shiny. At this stage, it's nothing more than a dense, dull gray mass of rock that must undergo several complex processes before it can become usable silver. Once brought to the surface, the silver-containing ore enters a mechanical transformation. The process begins with crushing. Enormous jaw crushers or cone crushers break the large rocks into smaller fragments. These pieces are then fed into ball mills, where rotating steel balls grind the material into an ultra-fine powder, similar in texture to flour. This step isn't about size alone, it's about efficiency. Smaller particles mean greater surface area, which makes it easier to separate silver from unwanted rock. After grinding, the material becomes a thick mixture of water and powdered ore known as slurry. It's within this slurry that silver starts to part ways with the surrounding waste material. This is where the process becomes more intricate. The next stage is called flotation, a method especially useful when silver occurs alongside metals like lead or copper. Chemicals are added to the slurry, and air is pumped through the mixture. The reaction is surprisingly clever. The chemicals cause silver-bearing minerals to repel water and attach themselves to air bubbles instead. As the bubbles rise, they carry these valuable particles upward, forming a foamy layer on the surface, marking the first real step in isolating silver from the rock that once concealed it. As the air bubbles float upward, they lift silver-bearing particles with them, creating a thick, foamy layer at the surface. This foam is carefully removed and dried, leaving behind what's known as silver concentrate, a much more concentrated form of the original rock. Even now, it isn't pure silver. The concentrate still contains a combination of silver, other metals, and unwanted impurities. That's when true purification begins. The next stage is smelting, a process where intense heat transforms solid rock into molten metal. The silver concentrate is fed into a furnace and heated to temperatures that often exceed 1000 degrees Celsius. At these extreme levels, the materials melt and naturally separate according to weight. Silver, being denser than most contaminants, settles at the bottom of the furnace. Meanwhile, lighter waste materials form a layer called slag, which floats to the surface and is removed. When lead is present in the ore, it plays an important role during smelting. An ancient technique known as cupellation takes advantage of lead's ability to absorb silver. The molten mixture of lead and silver is poured into a shallow, porous vessel called a cupel. When heated again, the lead reacts with oxygen and is absorbed into the cupel, effectively separating itself from the silver. What remains is solid metallic silver. While this metal now looks recognizable, bright, soft, and reflective, it still isn't pure enough for precision uses. To reach the ultra-high purity needed for electronics, fine jewelry, and investment-grade bullion, silver undergoes electrolytic refining. This process uses electricity to cleanse the metal at an atomic scale. Impure silver serves as the anode, while a thin plate of pure silver acts as the cathode. Both are submerged in a solution of silver nitrate, and an electric current is applied. Over time, silver atoms dissolve from the anode, travel through the solution, and reform on the cathode as nearly flawless silver. Other metals, including gold and platinum, sink to the bottom as a residue known as anode slime. This material is collected and processed separately, often yielding valuable secondary metals. Once refining is complete, the result is silver that is 99.9% pure, commonly referred to as 3 nines fine silver. This is the standard used for premium silverware, collectible coins, and advanced electronic components. The purified metal is typically molded into large bars or ingots for transport, storage, or sale. These ingots can later be melted down and shaped into countless products, from ultra-thin wires for electronics to wide sheets used in solar panels, or delicate forms crafted into jewelry. While silver may seem like a relic of the past in our high-tech world, it remains anything but outdated. In reality, silver's importance is growing, not fading. Beyond decorative items and tableware, silver plays a vital role in modern technology. It's an essential component in smartphones, solar panels, electrical connectors, medical instruments, and even systems designed to purify drinking water. Thanks to its natural ability to fight bacteria, silver is also used in wound care, surgical tools, and hospital environments where hygiene is critical. And beyond its practical uses, silver continues to hold financial significance, with bars and coins remaining a trusted choice for investors around the world. So the next time you notice a silver ring or handle a silver coin, remember that its shine carries a deeper story. Behind that glow lies a long journey, one that begins underground and passes through crushing, heating, refining, and reshaping. It's a story driven by science, guided by tradition, and perfected through skilled craftsmanship. Silver doesn't simply exist in its finished form, it's created through human knowledge and effort, refined over centuries as techniques continue to advance. In the end, silver serves as a quiet reminder that even the most ordinary objects can have extraordinary origins. Few materials illustrate this better than silver, a symbol of beauty formed deep within the earth and brought to life by human hands. Thank you for watching.